Today we're going to be going over how to normalize data, large files for tax purposes. Basically, I have created this list of expenses, and so it's credits and debits that we need to bring over here, but we have to normalize it. So there's going to be quite a few things that we're going to have to do in order to accomplish that. So first step is we're going to create and it's going to basically be entered into this document. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to have something that follows this format, so it's easy copy and paste. We're going to go into here, into our drive, create a new file, Excel file, call it 2020 input sheet. All right, and then we're going to paste that format. Now I have a few additional things that I want to add to this. I want to add bank information, categories, and type. All right, so we can just follow this format. So I guess we don't have to worry so much about formatting. We can take care of that a little bit later. Now, mapping account, we're going to leave that alone for now, but we're going to go through what the job is to go through each one of these tabs and extract this information and put it into our input sheet. Okay, so what we'll do is let's look at input sheet. So the first thing is asking for is a date. So we find the date. It's always going to be the posting date. On a few of these we're going to go forward. We're going to see transaction date, so it's not that. So we go here, Control C, Control V. Okay, and then we're going to go into description. So this is the description. Copy that. Okay. Then we're going to go, and then it's asking for a balance. So we're going to see the balance is over here, right? So we're going to copy all of this and put it. So this might seem like it's just pretty simple and just copy and pasting, which the initial ones are going to be like that. Amount is going to be the transaction amount. Now here's what's very, very, very important, because these are in different formats. Like each one we're going to go to are in different formats. I want to make sure that the debits are always negative and the credits are always positive. Okay, so what we'll do is we've got all these negatives. We just have to copy and paste that. But anyways, make sure that is, so the first few are going to be formatted the same way. Anything that says Chase is probably going to be the same format. When we go a little bit further down to like Discover and City and those, the formatting starts to change. Okay. Then what's the next thing it's asking? It's asking for bank information. So the bank information is going to be this tab below. Copy that and paste it. And then we're going to drag it all the way down, but the numbers start to change, 4814, 4815. You might know a better way of doing this. My way is just going like that, copy and pasting that first cell, and then just pasting it all the way down. And then we're going to go up. Categories. So under categories, we don't have any category here, so let's just use this, the type. I know it seems kind of weird because you would imagine type should go there, but anyways, it is what it is. It's a little different, but okay. Then we're gonna, because we can't focus on just what's written here, we have to focus on making all the information normalized. So it's a little counterintuitive, but anyways, type, we're gonna put debit and credit. Okay, so then we go to the next one, and this is going to be basically the same format, so you just follow the exact same steps that we did before. This one is a little different because these were actually accounts, like holding accounts. These are credit cards, so they actually have a transaction date and a posting date. So we'll always use the transaction date for this. Okay, so I'm going to Control V. And then, you know, another thing that will make things very easy is if we go over here, grab this, and bring it down here. That way we can always see the top of the titles, because that's really annoying when you can't see it. All right, so transaction, we go over here. And I'm not going to do every one of these on this video. I just want you to get the gist of it. And then, okay, so now we have a problem. Now this, I fixed this problem earlier, but I want to make sure I mention this. So you might see that I'm doing this and it's all one line, but it didn't used to be like that. What used to happen is this. So these were used to be merged like that. Okay, so this is what you're gonna probably come across. So when I go down, it gets 2 of these columns selected. So what we'll need to do is go back. All right, the first step is to go back to our input sheet and delete what we put in there. And the reason why, okay, we need to delete everything that we put here, because we're going to be using some filters to make some adjustments. And once we do filters, it's going to throw all this information off, and the dates are going to be all screwy. And so I want to make sure everything is matching. So first step is we delete all those. Come back here. We're going to filter this, and I've already done these steps because I made a video earlier which got deleted. But anyways, we're going to come back here and we're going to put in light. We're going to make it filter to A to Z. Okay, and then we're going to go down the list and see which ones are merged. So this one is merged, we're going to click unmerge. That one's merged, we're going to click unmerge. Is there any more? Let's just find out by clicking Control-Shift down, and looks like we're good. So now that we're good, we can come back and do this process again. So it's transaction type. We'll go here, V, Control V, and then we'll go back up. So we're gonna do the description. Let me just make sure what's the next one. Description. Control C, description. Balance. There is no balance because this is it's a different kind of since there's credit card. So debit cards usually have balance. Credit cards would not. So credit cards will only have expenses or transactions. So these are transactions amounts. So one thing while we're doing this, every time we do this, we need to make sure that all the negatives are expenses. So see where it says sale, that's what it needs to be. Okay. So see it says credit, positive, positive, payment, positive, and then expenses, negative. All right, so the bank information, we go back here, we copy this, bring it here, bring it down, go like that, Control C, Control V, go back up. Okay, so now we need to put the categories. Okay, so let's see what categories. So this one has a category. So these are kind of important or helps because we can use some of this information, and we're going to scrub this information to help us with our mapping, and that's going to be in a separate video, but anyways, that's why this is important. And then on the type, we'll put these thingamajiggies. Okay. And every time after I'm done, every time I like to do is just look at the last line and make sure that it matches with this one, because otherwise then we did something wrong. And it looks like it matches. 858. Okay, so perfect. So that matches. And then we'll go here and follow the same steps. We need to. All of these are going to be essentially merged, right? So like they're going to look like this. So it's going to select 2 columns, so make sure you take that out. So we follow the same steps. Over here is going to go back to one of those original formats like the Chase accounts, because like we'll have a balance and whatnot, because this, like I said, this is going to be like something like checking or savings. All right, so now we're here. This format, it's a little bit different, and I've actually already made the adjustment, but one thing that was here was all of these are right now, these are debits and credits. Actually, I haven't done that adjustment here. This is a perfect example. So you see over here where this is an expense at a restaurant and it says $61.92. And over here, this is a payment. So this is actually a credit that's negative. We need it in order to normalize it according to our data. Like all our expenses are negative. All our debits are negative. So we need to change these. So we're going to do equal this times -1. Okay, and that's the information we need. Okay, so what we can do is just copy this and paste the values. Okay, and then obviously I'm going to delete this. Now let's just verify. So our payments and credits are positive. Perfect. Okay, so then now we can use this. Now this is a little bit differently formatted. This is a transaction date. So we'll put that over here. Format change, don't worry about it. I mean, we can just, if you want to do it, but we'll figure out the formatting afterwards, so don't worry about it so much. And then we'll put this information here into the description. The description is always going to be like the vendor name and stuff like that. Amount, we're going to put over here, making sure that all the credits are positive, all the debits are negative. Account is going to be, again, copy this. That's the account. And category, if we have any, is right here. And we don't have a type. So, all right, next one, city double cash. This is a little different too. Now, I've changed these, but before this was also like where so you have a separate section for debit and you have a separate section for credit. And so these were opposite. So all the credits originally were showing negative. So what I did was just equals this, multiplied. So let me just hold on. So before it was like this, right? So all I did was equal this, multiply -1. You got your number, Control C, and then I do paste, special paste value. Okay. So what over here, what we'll do. So now that we have that, it's a little different. So we're just going to get all the dates, put them down here, go back up, get all the description. And if it's not one line, remember you got to unmerge it. All right, and then there's going to be no balance, so it's only going to be transactions. So here's what's going to be interesting, okay? So as we have two separate ones, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to Control-Shift, scroll down here, and then paste that, like that, as so. And then in order to make things easier, we can just write, these are all credits. Oh, sorry, that goes not here. And this one. These are all credits, right? Because we don't want to have them in two separate. We don't want to have them in two separate columns, as shown here. So, and then I'm going to just drag this down here until we're there. And I want to make sure that we're doing this right. So it's Microcinemas 2056 positive, Microcinemas 2056 positive, and that is a credit. Perfect. Credit's positive. Good. And then negative debits, and we're going to go back to our input sheet, and on the same line on the bottom we're going to put those, and that's our expenses, so our debits, and we're going to go like that. Oh, what's that happening? Oh, because the line's not next to it. A lot of debits, jeez. Okay, so now that we need to add another 1,000 there. Since we ran out of lines, I want to make sure that there was enough. So we need to go to the bottom and see if Chevron -38 cents. Okay, perfect. Now what we need to do is add the bank information. So the bank over here, when we go here, it should say City Double Cash. Copy, paste, and scroll down. I mean, copy paste that all the way down. All right, now categories. and it should be over here already organized for us, and then we just do Control C and we go paste that there. Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to go to the next one, Costco, and Costco is going to be the same format. And as you can tell, I did this a little bit differently. So this is how it originally was. All the credits were negative, all the debits were in positive. So this time around, what I just did was I put it all in one row. It made it much simpler because then I could just go like this, copy and paste that, and then on the transactions, copy and paste these, right? And just paste it. So whichever way is easier for you. But obviously you need to remember that you're doing -1 up until you're doing like this, equals that multiplied by -1, and we're bringing this all the way down right here till here, and we don't have anything else there, so that's why if we did continue doing it, it would have been 0. So we go equals, we shift over to the next column, times -1. So now we drag that all the way down. Okay, once we have that, now it's much easier if we just go like this, Control C, go back to our input sheet and put that under paste. I guess do paste values. Okay, perfect. And then, you know, obviously you can go up here. I'll just do it real quick. You know, description, date. I know it's coming like that, but we're gonna fix the formatting later, so I'm not too concerned about it. We'll copy this. And we write credits. And then this one, you just gotta make sure you're all the way at the positive number where you put the credits, and the debits go into the negatives. Okay, so we did that. Please be very careful. I'm kind of rushing through these just because I had made essentially an hour video earlier, which probably was better that I am doing it again, because like now I know like all the ins and outs of each of these credit cards, so it's, you know, it didn't need to be that long. Okay, so this one, you can see there's a lot of mumbo jumbo here, but just go step by step. Date, so we need to find the date, which is going to be the requested date. Copy that. We need the description, so what is the description? In here, this is the description. Copy and paste that. Okay, balance. We have a balance here because this is current account. It's called available cash. So we're going to do Control C and put in the balance right there. Now we need to do transaction amounts. So we do that. Let me just make sure. Okay, if this is the right, so debits need to be negative. Fee distribution debits, so that was an expense, so that's a debit, negative, perfect. And that's a contribution, that's a credit, that's $100, perfect. Okay. And then we need to write HSA. Actually, I mean, just so you know, it says HSA, so in case you just want to copy and paste it. Now, HSA accounts are very different. So under category, I would just say to put HSA. Okay. And then under the type, just leave the type alone because there's nothing really here to write on type. Okay, so that's how that format worked. Now going back, we are now going to go to the next one, Amex. So this one is also a little bit different in formatting, but I mean, we just go step by step. So date, so we go like that, Control C, date. Then we need to put in the description. So let's see, where's the description? So not this extended detail because it's way too lengthy, but this is the description we're going to use. It says description on the top anyway, so you see the description right there. So we're going to just put description. Balance, this is a credit card, so they won't be balanced. It says amount, so we need to go here and, so like our transaction amount, so we go here and click on that, Control C, Control V, but here I just noticed something. So this is mobile payment, thank you, that's $5.49. So payment, which was supposed to be a credit, is negative, and route insurance Columbus, which is an expense, which is $5.49, that's showing as positive. So what we'll need to do is make it normalize times -1. Yes, because I want all my credits to be positive, all my debits to be negative. So all my contributions and money coming into the account needs to be positive. Money going out of the account is negative. Okay. Let me just verify that. Payment is positive. Expense with insurance is negative. Payment's positive. Negative. Okay, perfect. Go over here, we'll copy this, paste it there. And categories, let's see if we even have any categories. So we do have some categories, so we'll just copy and paste that right there. Categories, and the type is, do we even have anything that says type? No, we don't, so don't worry about it. Okay, so then now we're here at our last one, and so on this one it's kind of like similar to some of the other ones we've seen. So first step, what we'll need to do, if there's any, obviously if there's anything that has like double cells, we need to make sure they're single cells. And then you see over here all the debits. This one's a little different where the debits and the credits were positive. So we need to make sure that all the debits are negative. So, you know, and if you want to make things easier, you can just go here, Control C. And so that way, sorry, it's and V. That way it's all in one line. So when we do this, we can go here, transaction, date, go like that. Description. Balance, there's gonna be no balance. Then your amount, so remember we brought everything here, so we'll just do this, makes it much simpler. And we need to paste values. Okay, and then this is going to be capital 1. And Control C, Control V. Entertainment. Oh, sorry. So this is basically the next one is categories. So we're going to do this. I mean, some of these categories that the banks put together are so off. So I just use them as reference. I don't use them as like, you know, main source of information. But anyways, so that basically concludes how you migrate all the information into here. Now, what I would like you to do is this information right now is too it's too like raw looking, like all the formatting. So I like it to be clean. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna make sure that we change all of it to the same font. So we can do that. All to the same size, which I think should be 11. And let's see what other format. So there's underlines, so do Control U and then do it again to take those lines off. What else? Oh, so there's these squares. So we're gonna go here, click none. And I think there's these colors.
the formatting, so we're going to reset that. Then there's these reds, so I want to reset those. For now, we're just going to reset those for now. Actually, I'm just going to do like this. Oops. It's this one that I need to do. Okay, so now we have all that together. Alright, so now we need to make sure we've got all the formatting correct. So those are the dates. So make sure that we'll go all the way down. Let's see. Go all the way up, all the way down. And the number format that we have for it is for dates. Where is it? Okay. Date. Alright, so we got the dates. And then we need to make sure that all of these, and actually the amount as well, see how are dollar signs. So see how it's not dollars. So we hit the dollar sign, we got all these into dollars, and that's it. That concludes how you do the formatting. If you have any questions on that, please reach out to me, and then we'll try to figure out how we can resolve it. And next step, we're going to talk about categorizing and doing those kind of things, but that's going to be for a separate video.